It's markup and markdown time. Okay, here we go. Now, I think everybody got a copy of this. Again, I am leaving copies for the people who were absent over in the white crate over under the whiteboard. So you can come up and grab those. They have your name on them. They're stapled together. You can unstaple them, but I've got Mondays together, Tuesdays together. Everybody got a copy of this as notes. If your class did not get a copy, I'm not 100% sure second period got it. I can't remember who got what because things were kind of all over the place a little bit. Hang on, I need to adjust this. If your class did not get a copy, please let Mr. Winters know because this is it will be February 7th, 2024, and I am in PL and have a sub. So, if this is another year, I don't have a sub, and you're just watching this for review or for some other reason, ignore the fact that I said to get it from the sub. But anyway, I know that I did this with first period, and I gave this to them because I remember not liking this. But before we start that, let's go to this. Now, I do know in the video that we did just a few minutes ago, I showed this to you, and I told you that and I told you to go ahead and get a copy because I know first and second period did not get this. They're going to need this from the sub. This is notes. It also matches the one that's hanging up on the whiteboard that is handwritten. And so far, we have been just focused right here. But now we are transitioning to these two. All right? We're transitioning over to these two. This one is all about markups. This is all about markups. And for some reason or another, when I made these, I did not write that on here. So I want to put that on here. So if you have that in front of you, these are your markups. This is markups, the purple. Okay, the purple is markups. And again, here's our bridge map. New dollar amount. Now we have also, and one thing that we added, and then I'm going to go ahead and add here, is I don't use this word new as much as I use after and before. I had somebody in 5th period today ask me, why is it after, over, before? And I could not answer that question. I am getting an answer to that question. I'm going to learn that. I probably knew it at some point in my lifetime and just haven't been able to ask and hadn't had to address it. But my answer at the time was because A comes before B in the alphabet and the A comes on the top. So that's what you need to remember more than anything. The after is on the top. A comes before B. And so, again, if you want to shade yours to kind of color code it to match what's on the board, you can do that on your own time. Do not go and get colored pencils from the bucket in the front of the room because this is not important at the moment. I'm just doing this to have a chance, while I'm telling you all this. So these are our markups. It's the purple one. And we're going to talk about why this looks different. Why is there just a % sign right here, but this says 100+%? And so we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. Then we have markdowns. And it's green over there. This is our markdowns. These are our markdowns. So when you're reading the problems, you're really going to have to determine, is this a markup or is it a markdown? The one thing that I told one class today is with markups and markdowns, I'm kind of front-loading a lot of things with just giving you all these notes because the easiest way to learn this is to do it. So we're going to jump right in to doing the prop practice with this. We're going to do the practice. Again, this is going to be after and before. New and original also fit there. And N comes before O in the alphabet also. So, but after and before seem to be the words that you see the most often. So I use that a lot more than I do new and before, or new and original. But N over, and also we used N over O when we did scale factors. So this kind of helps separate that a little bit so that it's not quite so confusing. So this is Markdowns. And if you notice, it looks different. That's why we have 3 separate components. We have just basics or percents. Then we have those percents where we have to do 100 plus the percent. Then we have those percent things where we have to do 100 minus the percent. So just kind of put this off to the side somewhere so you can use it as a reference. And then we're going to come back to this for a minute. Those 2 bridge maps, these 2 bridge maps are also on here. This is also notes. This is just notes. I'm not going to shade all of this, but I'll just this is the green one. And when I'll go back and color that in before I put it on Google Classroom for you. This is the purple one, okay? This is the green one. This is the purple one. Now, here's the thing. I don't like these examples. I don't like these examples. I will do these examples when I put the key on Google Classroom or when I put this up on Google Classroom so you can see what I'm talking about. But basically, these 2 examples can be done right here. And it makes it a little bit confusing when I'm trying to show you something very different to use the same thing that we've already been doing. So we're going to just bypass these examples. I'm going to put them on there. I will work them. But the main thing is we could literally just, if this had not had something run on the back of it, I would have just cut it in half and given you this part. But we did run some notes on the back, markups and markdowns. In order to make a profit, stores sell items for more than they pay or buy the item. The increase in price can be represented as a percentage, and it's called the markup rate. All right? I need to back off of this a little bit so you can see. Which you have this, so I don't know why I'm worried about it. When items don't sell quickly, many stores discount the items. That's when stuff begins to go on the clearance rack, and that's when I go buy it, is when you got that discount. And that is known as a markdown rate. Okay, so that's what a markup and a markdown is. Now, everybody got this. I know everybody got this because I told you this was the best thing that I could show you. And so I'm going to be doing some of these models with some of the problems that we're doing so that you can see what I'm talking about with this markup, okay? With these markups and markdowns. So you have a video game that has gone up by 20%. What I want you to know right here, this old price that they're talking about, this old price, this is your before. The new price is the after. Okay? This $18 is 100% of the old price. That's 100%. So, of course, this $18 is going to be 100%. We're marking up 20%. What we don't know is the dollar amount of that markup. So if this is the old price, what is the new price? What does it cost now? So we're going to work this one using our markups bridge map. And the reason we have to put 100 plus our percent is because of this. This is 100% plus the other 20%. 100% plus 20% is the markup price. What is the price when you have 100% of that 18 plus another 20%? How much is it? So this is after and before. Our percent goes right here, but that's where it gets tricky. So hang on. When it is a markup, the percent that we're trying to find, the amount, the before price was 18. The amount we're trying to find right here, this X, we want to know how much am I going to have to pay if I pay 100% of the 18 plus another 20%. So I've got all markups are 100 plus your percent. So 100 plus 20 is going to be 120%. And that is because that's what I'm paying. I'm paying 100% of this 18 plus another 20%. My phone is ringing. Hold on. Hey, baby, I'm making a video. Can I call you back?
Yeah.
I love you, bye. Okay, sorry, guys. I didn't want to stop it. 20%. I want to pay 100% of the 18 plus the other 20%. So I'm going to be paying right here after I'm going to be paying 120%. So 100 times X is 100X. 18 times 120 is 2,160. Divide both sides by 100. And X is going to equal $21.60. That is the amount that I would be paying with a 20% markup. I would pay this much with a 20% markup. I'm going to pay the 18 plus 20% more. And so that's why we have to put 120 right there. If it is a markup, you have to put with markups, your percentages are always going to be over 100%. So you could make a note. We can write it right here for now, but all markup percents will be over 100%. The markup percent rate. Okay? The markup percent rate will be over 100%. All right? Now, let's go to this practice. I am probably not going to do all of this practice in this video. I'm going to do part of it, then I'm going to let you do it, and then we're going to come back to it and do some more. Okay? I don't want to do this one yet. I did this one with 4th and 5th period first, but then I felt like maybe I shouldn't have started with that. 1st and 2nd period, you don't have this handout. Mr. Winters is going to have to give you this handout. So make sure you get this from him because you are going to need to finish this for homework because we're going to come back to it on Thursday. So this is a mark. We're going to go through and label these first. We're going to read the questions and label them. And we don't even have to read it. If you see the word markup, just put an MU right there. That's a markup. That means I'm going to be doing something with 100 plus my percent. Okay? The next one, the price originally is $55 and 25% off. What is the sale price? And I got to pause right here a minute because there's one more thing I didn't show you. On the back of this is this. And I can't get it all in the screen. So on the back of this is this tree map. This is words that mean before and after. This side of the paper is probably going to be a lot more useful than this side. But this is, I'm going to be making us one of these to put in the classroom. And if you're reading problems and you come up with other words that we can add to it, we can. But these are the most commonly used words that mean before and after. So if you kind of lay this off to the side somewhere so you can see it. What is the sale price? That's going to be an after. Sale price is an after word. So you want to go through we'll just go ahead and label that with an A. Originally priced is before. Originally priced is before. So this would be our before. And this is a markdown. That is a markdown. And we're going to put 100 minus your percent right there. We'll come back to that. A product marked down, this is a markdown. So label this markdown, and that means it's going to be 100 minus our percent. 100 minus our percent. I'm labeling these. We're just kind of going through, labeling before and after, and whether it's a markup or markdown before we do anything else. The sale price is an after. If you look at your map, what is the original price? That is the before. Trying to see if I'm staying in the screen. If the wholesale price, if you look over here, wholesale price is a before. All right, wholesale price is a before. And the markup is 20%. Find the retail price. Retail price is your after. And this is a markup. So we're going to do 100 plus your percent. If the wholesale price, that's before, and the markup is, find the retail price, that is your after. All right, we're going to start right there. This is a markup. These are a couple that I want to go ahead and do. These kind of match the one we just did. I was trying to make sure we got down to one that. So let's start right here. This is a markup. So we're going to use after over before. This is always 100. Okay? The wholesale price of an item is $2.50. That's our before. We've already labeled it. So we're going to put $2.50 right here. The markup is 20%. Now remember, right here has to be 100 plus your percent. So I've got to say 100 plus 20 is 120. So right here, I'm going to put 120% because I'm going to pay 100% of what they paid. So if we go back to that model that we were looking at a few minutes ago, our before amount is $250. Our after amount is this $250 plus 20%. This is 100%. This is 100%. That's 100% of the price that we paid for it. This is 100% of the price we paid plus the 20% markup. The 20% markup. And we're trying to find right here the dollar amount that matches this box right here. We're trying to find the dollar amount that matches that box. That's what we're trying to do. How much is 120%? How much is it if you paid $250 for it and you're going to mark it up 20%? How much you going to charge me? How much you going to charge me? Okay? So, let's find out. There's where our X goes. So 100 times X is 100X. 120 times 250 is 30,000. Divide both sides by 100. And X equals $300. And that is how much you would pay with a 20% markup. So we're going to write, so the retail price is $300. Or, hang on. Sorry. I know y'all write right along with me. And then, so, X equals 300 is the I was just trying to make it a little easier for you. Retail price. $300 is the retail price, okay? And that's a markup, all right? If the wholesale price of a pair of shoes is $32.25, so here we go. This is after and before. The wholesale price is a before, so this $32.25 goes on the bottom. The vocabulary is going to tell you what goes on the top and what goes on the bottom. Where you put these numbers is critical. And the markup is 105%. Now, this is a good question, and they always get you with this one because they've given you the markup price. They've given you the markup as a percentage over 100 already. But you know what? That don't change the fact that a markup is 100 plus whatever percent you are given. So no matter what the percent is, you're going to have to put it right there. This 105 goes right there. Period. So 100 plus 105 is 205. So the percentage that goes right here is 205%. So in other words, we've got our, let's come back down here and do our little model. We've got our shoes that cost $32.25. Then we've got our shoes. This is our shoes that cost $32.25. And now we're going to take those shoes and we're going to add 105% to it to get the dollar amount that we're going to sell them for in the store. So this is, remember, this is 100% of the original, and 100, or so there's 100% of my original, and I'm going to take that 100%, I'm going to do another 105% to get my selling price that I'm going to sell them for in the store. This happens way more often than you realize. I wish I could find a good example of something. I'm going to see if I can find you a good example of where that's happening. You'd be shocked. That's why I don't pay regular price for nothing, because they mark stuff up like that all the time. Okay, so 205% markup. This is a 100 set in stone. There's my X, because I'm looking for what am I going to pay. X times 100 is 100X. 205 times 32.25 is 6,011.25. We're going to write down 66,1125. Divide both sides by 100. So X is going to equal 66.1125. I'm putting all that down there because I want you to see this. We need this to look like money. Money's going to stop right there. This 2 is a weak number. It does not affect that 1, so those go away. And it's $66.11 is what the $66.11 is the retail price. $66.11. So that $66.11 is 105% of that. Well, actually, if you wanted to know what was the dollar amount that actually was marked up, you would just take the difference. If it said, you know, if we wanted to know, okay, what is the markup dollar amount, you would take your 66.11 minus the 32.25. and get $33.86. And that is how much it was marked up dollar-wise. So look at this. They paid $32.25 for it. They added $33.86 to it to sell it to you. You'd be surprised at how often that happens. So that's markups. All right. I'm going to let you do number 6 on your own. Then I'm going to let you do number 6 on your own. Okay? Let's go back and do a couple of these markdowns. Now we got to talk about a markdown. We're going to do number 1 in a minute. Okay? So I'm pretty much going to do the front. And I think I'm going to kind of let you see what you can do with the back. And then I will come back and do the back page on Thursday. Okay? So we're going to kind of spend Wednesday and Thursday with this. And then I'm going to do a little daily grade on Friday. So let's go to number 2. A product originally priced at $55 is marked off. What is the sale price? So if we wanted to see that model, we've got $55. And we're actually going to be taking that $55 backwards. So here's our $55. And we're going to take off of it 25%. We're going to take 25% off. Okay? This is the amount that's coming off, the percentage. Remember, this is 100% of the original price, which means this would be 100% of the original price. There's that 55. I'm taking 25% off. What is this percentage? This percentage is going to be 75%. So this is this 25% right here is your markdown. This 75% is what you're going to pay. This is my 100% of my $55. 100% of $55. My markdown is 25%. I'm going to be paying 75%. This percentage right here is what ends up going into the bridge map. This is that 100 minus your percent. That's the 100 minus your percent. So it's originally priced at 55, so that's my before. 100 minus that percent is going to leave me 75%. My after dollar amount, how much am I going to be paying? That's the big, this has to be more than 100 because it's going to tell me what's coming out of my pocket. This has to be 75 because it's telling me what's coming out of my pocket. I don't care what the discount is as much as I know I care about what's coming out of my pocket. 100 minus your percent would be 100 minus 25 is 75. And that 75% is what goes right there. Over 100. That's what happens with a markdown. Where we wrote it right over here. 100 minus 25, 75. And then you put it right there. That's why I had you do this. Because you do this first, then you know what's going right there. Okay? And that's my x. 100 times x is 100x equals 75 times 55, 4125. Divide by 100. And x is going to equal $41.25 is the sale price this is not, this is correct. You got to tell me what it is. Because if you're recognizing what it is, then you know. These words right here are kind of they're non-negotiable right now. Is the sale price? You got to write that. Is the retail price? You got to write that. Is the retail price? You got to write that. Telling whether it's a markup and putting your 100 plus your percent right there. All of this is not negotiable. You've got to write that. That's got to be on your paper. Because that's the only way I can force you into thinking about it the way it needs to be thought about. Okay? Looking at number 3. A product is marked down 15%. The sale price is $127.46. That is an after. So that's going to go $127.46. You got to put that right there like that. You're going to have to use this to make sure you're labeling your A's and your B's in the problem. Because notice right here, we used, this went on the bottom. This goes on the top. This goes on the bottom. This goes on the bottom. If you put it in the wrong place, you're going to get it wrong. This is a markdown. The percentage is 15%. So we're going to come right over here and we're going to put 100 minus 15 is 85. That 85% is what goes right there. That 85% is what goes right there. And then we're looking for the original price. X times 85 is 85X. I'm going to put this right over here. 127.46 is going to be 12746 divided by 85. Is 149,952. I got to have that 2 for a minute. I just got to have it for a minute. Because here's my money. There's my money. This 2 is not going to change that 5. So $149.95 is the original price. Is the original price. So it was $149.95. Markdown was 15% off. And so now it's $127.46. Okay. Now let's do number 1 because number 1's a little bit different. It is a markup. It is a markup, but this time it's giving you the wholesale price as your before. He sells it to the golfer, so that's your selling price. That's your after. You're getting your before and your after, so now we're having to figure out the percent of the increase. Okay, so watch what happens right here. After and before. The 40 goes here. The 75 goes here. An X goes right there. And 100. And we're going to, let's get to our answer. 7,500. Nope, I'm sorry, 40X. We got to do that first. 40X equals 7,500. Divide both sides by 40. And X is going to equal 187.50. 187.5. Because we're talking about our percents, we're going to round that. That 5 is strong. We're always going to write our percents as a whole number. So 188%. Now, remember, the markup rate is always 100 plus the percent. So what you're going to do is when the problem's like this, where you're given the after and the before, you're going to take that 188 and you're going to come over here and you're going to do 100 plus, and I just usually do a question mark. My percent is equal to 188. 100 plus my percent is equal to 188. That 188 is the 100 plus the percent. It's everything. It's everything. So we've got to now get it back to just what is the markup. And pretty much, I mean, we could call this, if we put an M right there, the markup for M, you're going to subtract 100 from both sides. And M is equal to 88. So 88% is your markup rate. 88% is the markup rate. And it might make more sense to you to use an M right there. I've never done it that way before. I mean, I've always just put a question mark and allow my students to kind of do the mental math of, but if it makes more sense to you to see how it's done by solving that equation, feel free to do that. I would use M as a variable because you can also do the same thing with the markdown. You may have to watch this and rewatch this to kind of go back through and get these notes. I'm going to leave 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 for you to try tonight, which would be Wednesday night, to try 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Thursday, when you come in, I will do 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 in a video. Again, I'll go back over them, but I want you to have some time to process. If you don't finish all of this in class, you're going to have to finish it at home. And then do 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then come back on Thursday, and we'll have those and then a little bit more practice. Okay? Again, flip this over and put questions for KB. And then list any questions that you don't, I mean, and even as you're working 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, work it as far as you can. So make sure you come over here and you label markdown and 100 plus or 100 minus. Label that first. Read the problems. Label your A and your B. Okay? So right here on the back of this, I'll just put first, you're going to determine mark up or mark down. 2, make sure you, right here, just make sure if you put a markup, you put 100 plus your percent. If you put mark down, you put 100 minus your percent. 2, label A and B vocabulary in the in your question, in the problem, as you read the problems. As you read each problem, determine the markup or markdown. Label it. Label your A or B vocabulary. A is after. B is before. Do that before you do anything else. Do that before you do anything else. You can do one problem at a time. You can read you can read number 6, label it markup or markdown, label your before and after vocabulary, and then get into trying to set it up. See how far you can get, okay? You should have at least, some of that. Make you a list of questions for KB. This is run front to back for y'all, so you don't have back sides. So you may have to have a sheet of notebook paper to go with this if you've got a lot of questions for me. And then we'll come back to it on Thursday, see how you do, and then I'll see you on Friday. All right. I love you. Mean it.